Hi guys, so I'm here with the set and costume design. So they're gonna take us a tour around the whole closet and to see how they make the costumes, and later on they're gonna show us how they made the set. If you haven't noticed, there's a lot of costume designs throughout the whole kind of show, but the main three kind of stars of the show is the pig, the monkey king, and Satan, who is the monkey.
So the pig is always kind of in his black robe, a little bit more messy, things like that. So, and we stuck with the most popular, the ones that you see the pig wearing the most. And with the Monkey King and his armor, you see a lot of different versions of his armor throughout a lot of different iterations of Journey to the West. So I chose one that was basically that was very appealing, had that classic look to it. And then with Satang, we went more with one of the older costumes. For Satang, he's a very tough, mean-looking guy, but he wears a lot of very bright and vibrant colors, such as these green turquoise, some of this purple, and that. So we wanted the characters to all wear different colors, contrast with each other, so they all stand out on their own on stage, so that they all blend together too much.
We made masks for both the demons and the monkeys. So for both of them, well, at least for the monkeys, we had to look more into realistic monkeys compared to how we've done it before.
Here was really interesting because this is the first time that we ever kind of worked with fur and worked with kind of making any of our cast into animals. So we had kind of a difficult time with this in the beginning, but we kind of picked it up, and at the end of the day it came out pretty well. For the demon costumes, for a lot of the demon ones, we put the most kind of detail work into here. Like Sarah was mentioning earlier, we did a Peking opera style. So if you see here, you'll see like a crane, which is very common in Peking opera. You see kind of like the animal painted, and then just the mix of colors. You see green and red. A lot of Peking opera does that to kind of clash and to make it kind of stand out more. For some of our more kind of hard times making costumes, for the Demon King, we went through 5-6 kind of options on just his color. So after making the base of his armor, we couldn't decide we started off with red, but we realized that after talking, kind of going back and forth with our producer, seeing what he envisioned for it, red kind of integrated a little too much with his soldiers. So we went through red, we went through green, blue, and we ended up at purple. And at the end of the day, I think that purple kind of fitted the demon character like perfectly.
So here we have the piece that goes under, and this piece we have on top. Like this.
Like Sarah mentioned earlier, we kind of inspired it off like a Peking opera style. So within the Peking opera, besides kind of the costume itself, they kind of really concentrate on the headpieces and making an extravagant headpiece that really brings out what the costume is. So for us, we concentrated on the details of the headpiece. So every single little piece, we made sure that it was positioned right, made the gems in the right place, put flowers and tassels in, just to kind of complete the whole entire look.
So here is one of the main characters' costumes. This is the Monkey King's armor, and basically there's a lot of little pieces had to put together to make this armor look realistic and things like that. So there's a lot of little layers that goes on to putting this armor on. So the first piece that you would really have to put on is the shoulders. Well, this is how the Monkey King would look with his armor on, basically without his makeup. And here it is.
So for this Broadway, we have to do a lot of our own unique and customized clothing. So some of the clothing that we had to do by hand was to sew them. So for example, we had to do the bakyoi, which is the pig, the elite warrior, and the princess costumes. Now these costumes, it has to be custom fit because one, you don't want obviously too long or too short, and then you also want it to fit kind of loosely for the dancers to dance as well.
Hi guys, so welcome back to Behind the Scenes. So I'm here with the set and costume design. They're going to show you guys the details and what it took to make this whole set come alive. When it came to backdrop, we had initially 6 main sets. So it went from the bedroom scene, the classroom scene, the cave scene, jungle, the royal palace, and the pub. The biggest thing that we stressed when doing the backdrop was really convenience. Is how do we make all the sets come together, but make it convenient to transition between the sets. So as you see here, to capture, for example, the bedroom and classroom scene, we did things like this for like buildings, so it has the idea of a building, but at the same time, whenever we needed to transition from the classroom scene to the cave scene, you can easily flip it and you have a whole new kind of atmosphere on the set. For our main backdrop in the back, for a lot of scenes we had a black backdrop just to kind of capture a depth on making the stage appear bigger when it wasn't actually. And once it was open, for example, for things like the jungle scene, we had a backdrop that was a waterfall, which Sarah worked with me a lot on the design. Sarah, if you want to provide.
So when it came to designing and painting the actual backdrop, the hardest thing was probably realism. So for getting things to look realistic, it had to come down to like the very fine detail. So when it comes to like the water and the waterfall, it has to be like a certain glow, and even the trees and the grass. You know, we had to decide on what brushes and techniques to use to make those things look more realistic and come to life to the audience. So we were trying to make things look more realistic and 3D. So for the rocks, we used an insulation spray, which we sprayed first onto the plywood, and then after it dried and stuff, we used knives and box cutters to basically mold it so it has that rock texture, which you can see on here. And then after that, that's when it came to painting it, so it just has that color and realistic look as a rock, which we use for all of the rocks.
So the team in general tried our best to kind of capture the vision of our producer at home, and he came to us and said, this is kind of how I see the production, this is the sets, this is how I see the sets, and we kind of worked together. Loi helping with the mechanics, Sarah helping with the design, and kind of just all putting our heads together to make sure that the set looked as best as possible. So when it really comes to set design, although we had the stationary kind of schematics going on, the main focus of this year's set design was really the props and the things that got brought on and brought off. I think those things are really what made the sets itself. For example, the bedroom scene. The bedroom scene, you had your windows and your kind of building panels in the back, but that's not what made the set. It was the roll-on bed, the TV, the cabinets that came on that really made the set come alive. So as you can see, although there's only 6 sets in the whole entire musical, there's thousands of pieces that kind of make the whole musical come alive. And without really explaining to you guys every single little piece, because that would make this a really long video, we hope you guys enjoy kind of taking a walk with us backstage and starting to see kind of what we did to make the musical really come together. So we hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye!